March 22, 1959, Oscar Neil Moss, a student from Oxford, went on a caving trip to Peak Cavern in Derbyshire with other cave enthusiasts. Moss loved exploring caves and was excited to go deeper than anyone had gone before. However, he got stuck in an unexplored pothole 1,000 feet from the cave entrance and slowly got poisoned by carbon dioxide. This is the sad story of Neil Moss, a passionate explorer. While many preferred to take leisurely walks on the hills surrounding the village of Castleton, north of the Derbyshire Peak, Neil Moss was drawn to the mysterious caves beneath the hills, known generally as Peak Cavern. The natural beauty and enchanting allure of these caves captivated Moss, a philosophy student at Balliol College, Oxford, who was also a sports enthusiast and a member of the British Speleological Association. He had previously explored these caves, but 2 weeks prior, some explorers discovered a particularly interesting shaft in an unexplored chamber 1,000 feet deep. Hearing this, Moss eagerly announced his intention to explore the chamber. On Sunday, the 22nd of March, 1959, Moss, along with 7 other explorers, including 4 who had discovered the shaft, made their way back to Peak Cavern. Equipped with ropes, lamps, helmets, and other necessary caving materials, their excitement was palpable as they made their way toward the discovered shaft. However, the journey was arduous, involving tight, twisted passageways and large chambers, often requiring them to crawl through and down muddy tunnels, while sometimes scratching their skins on roughly edged rocks. 1,000 feet below the entrance, they finally reached the chamber. It was magnificent, with calcite formations all around. After stretching their legs, they faced the task of descending the 40-foot deep shaft estimated by the first explorers. Moss, slender and confident, decided to make the descent, equipped with a 75-foot ladder for safety. Moss began his descent around 3:30 p.m., pushing down the ladder first before lowering himself. 12 feet in, he encountered his first challenge, a corkscrew twist in the shaft. Successfully navigating this, he crawled through a 10-foot-long horizontal passageway, pushing the ladder ahead of him before coming face to face with an 18-foot deep vertical passageway. Dropping down the tunnel, he encountered a boulder blocking his path. Despite his efforts to move the boulder, the ladder became stuck beneath him. Exhausted and frustrated, he decided to move back up the shaft, but a bigger problem emerged. With the ladder stuck, Moss had to share the limited space with it, making it almost impossible to crawl upwards. His body blocked the air entering the shaft, creating a dire situation. Moss tried not to panic and smartly contorted his body to manage the space. However, he soon became stuck in an 18-inch wide space, sandwiched between rock and ladder, unable to move up or down. Realizing his predicament, Moss shouted for his companions to pull the ladder up while he held onto it. Initially, they managed to lift it a few inches, but then it got stuck again. Panicking, Moss screamed SOS. His companions quickly ran for help. The situation required professional intervention, and soon various groups arrived, including the Royal Air Force, Royal Navy, National Coal Board, police, and some caving groups. The rescue team first sent slender volunteers to reach Moss, but 3 lost consciousness due to the polluted air and had to be dragged out. Fortunately, Ron Peters managed to reach Moss and tied a rope around his chest, but pulling him up only made breathing more difficult for Moss. Oxygen tanks were quickly brought in to provide him with some relief. Despite numerous attempts, none of the rescue efforts succeeded in freeing Moss. Several volunteers, including an 18-year-old typist named June Bailey, tried to reach him, but the foul air drove them out. Meanwhile, Moss received some relief from an oxygen tube passed down by a Royal Air Force doctor. However, the carbon dioxide continued to poison him, leading to disorientation and delirium. He even suggested that his companions go out to get food for themselves. Efforts to pump out the polluted air and smooth the walls of the shaft failed. Heavy rain then flooded the cave, forcing the rescue team to exit. When they returned, they could no longer hear Moss breathing. At approximately 3 a.m. on Tuesday, March 24th, a doctor declared Neil Moss dead. Throughout the ordeal, Moss's father, Eric Moss, waited at the entrance, unable to see his son. Devastated by the news of Neil's death, he broke down in tears. Despite the rescue team's intention to retrieve Neil's body, Eric Moss requested that the mission be aborted to avoid further danger. The team used loose rocks to cover the opening, entombing Neil Moss's body in the shaft. The chamber was later named Moss Chamber, and cavers still explore it to this day. A concrete inscription with Neil Moss's name stands as a tribute to his memory. This tragic story has been memorialized in movies, books, and articles, honoring Neil Moss's adventurous spirit and the efforts of those who tried to save him. The Neil Moss incident serves as a poignant reminder of the risks involved in the pursuit of exploration and the bravery of those who dare to push the boundaries of the unknown.